I'd like to call the Tuesday, January 3rd, 2023 Papillion City Council meeting to order. Ms. Brown, would you please take the roll?
Sunday. Here. Mumgarden. Gaines. Here. Glover. Here. Fanslau. Here. Klug. Here. Stubbe. Here. Engberg. Here.
Would you please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance? Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Do we have an affidavit of publication on file?
We do.
And a current copy of the Open Meetings Act is posted in the back of the council chambers. We got one presentation tonight. Sometimes they're special, sometimes they're not, maybe a mix. Mr. Grebe, want to join me? Mike, you want to come up? People know Mike. He's retiring after a couple of years being with us. I've got a proclamation I'd like to give, but I think first maybe have Mike share a few things.
There's two mics.
You'll have your chance.
Well, I've only been here a year, but I can already tell you that Mike has done an excellent job in his 40 years here. From my understanding, when he first started, he was the only mechanic, only had roughly about 20 pieces of equipment, and now we have over 300. And I can tell you from looking at budgets and dealing with the regular occurrences that Mike brings to me, he does a very good job. Going from equipment that was not near as complicated as it was back in the day to extremely complicated nowadays. Mike's handled those changes excellently, and he has trained those individuals underneath him to handle those things also. He's even done a great job in succession planning, as the individual that was our fire mechanic is now going to take his spot. So he's done an excellent job in mentoring, and I'm going to leave it at that. Thank you very much, Mike. Thanks, I appreciate it.
I think a great way to summarize is just to read the proclamation that we've got. So, a proclamation recognizing the retirement of Mike Grebe, Fleet Maintenance Superintendent, and honoring him for 40 years of outstanding service to the City of Papillion. Whereas Mike began his career in public works with the City of Papillion on September 7, 1982 as the sole mechanic for the city, and was promoted to Fleet Maintenance Superintendent on May 17, 1993. Whereas Mike has faithfully and conscientiously served the Papillion and its employees for over 40 years. Whereas Mike, during these years of service and under his supervision, the fleet maintenance shop has expanded from the old shop of about 5,000 square feet, that's probably generous, to the new shop of over 25,000 square feet. The city's rolling stock has increased from about 20 vehicles and pieces of equipment to 300, and the fleet maintenance staff has grown from 1 employee to 4. Whereas Mike's years of service has been marked by exemplary dedication to the safety of city's employees and the reliability of the vehicles and equipment they operate. Whereas Mike's numerous efforts during his employment with the City of Papillion will continue to have an impact on the city for years to come. Whereas Mike has been a valuable and dedicated employee, and his legacy of knowledge and service to the City of Papillion will carry on. Now therefore, I, David P. Black, Mayor of the City of Papillion, do hereby present this proclamation to express our sincere appreciation and gratitude to Mike Grebe for 40 years of dedicated service. Congratulations.
Thank you, Mayor.
We've also got the famous iron butterfly, and again, for the people not familiar with it, this came out of a project, but then it was, again, I figured out patented or service marked or whatever, but it was, the design was protected, and then when the foundry made them, I think they broke the mold, so there's a limited number of them. So we don't give them out very often, and it just says Mike Grebe presented January 3rd, 2023 for 40 years of dedicated and faithful service to the citizens and staff of the City of Papillion. So thank you for everything. You want to say anything?
Yeah, just a few minutes.
It's yours.
Thank you. Well, you guys really, very, very happy. You know, coming to this day and the years that I've been able to put in here and work with a lot of you people here and a lot of the public works employees, the police, the fire, all the other departments. I really did enjoy it. I'm very thankful for the people that worked with me, past and present. I'm very proud of what we have for a facility down there at Public Works. It's quite an outstanding building, and it's going to serve us for a long time. And it's something that, you know, being intimately involved in not actually the design of it, but getting it up and running and all the equipment inside. So thank you very much. I appreciate everything that the city's done for me over the years. Thanks again.
Mr. Ingberg.
I want to personally thank you for all your hard work. Mike started down in the shop about a year after I took the police chief's job. Mm-hmm. And I will tell you, in all those years after he arrived, we had the best fleet of vehicles that you could imagine. He was always proactive. He understood that those vehicles were their office for 8, 10, 12 hours a day, and their safety depended on Mike. And I will tell you, once he got here, I never worried once after that, because everything was done right, everything was done ahead of time, and he saved the city a ton of money, and he kept a lot of men and women in the police department safe for all the years that I'm aware of. So thanks, Mike. I appreciate all your hard work and your help.
Yep. Thank you, Steve.
Thanks again.
You bet. Take care.
Ms. Powers, Administrator's Report, please.
And I just want to say congrats again, Mike. It's obviously well-deserved and you'll be greatly missed, so congratulations. And then negotiations with all 3 unions are ongoing, and all 3 contracts expire this year in 2023, and we're planning on presenting the PCA contract at the next City Council meeting for your consideration of approval. Also, the Public Safety Committee and city staff are close to presenting recommendations for the changes to the city's property maintenance codes. And you can expect to start seeing those recommendations within the next couple of meetings. And thank you for everyone's hard work on that, because it has been quite a process and it's taken a lot to get us here. So thank you everyone for all your work, the committee and staff, Phil, everybody for getting us where we are today, Carla. Thank you very much. And then those of you with live Christmas trees, the city's Christmas tree recycling program is open. It's now through January 16th. The trees must be free of all ornaments and tree stands, and they can be dropped off at the Papillion Bay Aquatic Center parking lot, which is on Halleck Street, the Papillion Volunteer Fire Department's parking lot, which is on Limerick Road, and the Walnut Creek Connector Trail parking lot on Shram Road and Creekside Drive, which is just west of 96th Street. And then a reminder that city offices will be closed on Monday, January 16th, in observation of Martin Luther King Jr. Day. And then also a reminder of the City Council's retreat, and that's on Friday, January 20th, and it'll be where it was last time, which is the NRD, their boardroom at Chaco Hills Recreation Area, and that's from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. is the scheduled time. And then final note is that you council members will be receiving new iPads here shortly. We hope to have those before the council retreat and hopefully before the next council meeting. So we'll get those set up and ready for you. I just don't want you surprised when we swap you out. So that's all I had. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Is there a motion to approve the consent agenda? Motion. We're going to poll item C5. So motion. Is there a second? Second by Councilwoman Klug. Any proponents or opponents? Council discussion? Please vote on everything except C5.
Seven yeas, 0 nays.
Motion passes. Item C5, Resolution R230007, a resolution to approve the appointment of Michael Erdman to the Planning Commission for a term of 3 years from January 2023 to January 2026. Is there a council member that make a motion? Motion by Councilman Klug, second by Councilman Sunday. Any proponents or opponents? I know Mr. Erdman's here. I might invite you up real quick. Just, I think everybody knows who you are. I want to just share real quick. When we had an appointment on the Planning Commission come up, it's always a question of who's interested. And there's people that put their names in for different boards and commissions. But Mr. Erdman's been coming to City Council off and on 3-4 years, I don't know. At least. But the one thing that had really impressed me when I was starting to think about the Planning Commission was a couple of things specifically. Some of you might remember when we were dealing with the truck route and where that was supposed to go, and there was some controversy in there because it was going to have to go through a neighborhood and it involved some pretty big trucks, and some of that went right by your street. And could have become a very controversial issue, but you came to the table, helped us find a solution, and one of the individuals with big trucks actually ended up contributing some labor to help with the solution, and you were a key to that discussion. So again, somebody that saw a problem but got involved in a solution. And then the other one was not too long ago where we had passed the Tower District, and then after that was passed, you came up with a recommendation of some better traffic flow, but it was too late in the process. But again, somebody who saw an impact on the neighborhood, saw a solution, and I thought, man, to have that kind of insight in the initial discussion stages with Planning Commission. So I reached out, and thankfully he said he was willing to be appointed. So I just want to thank you for your willingness.
Thank you, Mayor.
You
Yeah,
bet.
I'm certainly grateful and excited and humbled, certainly, to be part of the planning of our city. As a young person moving here over 50 years ago, I didn't think I'd be standing up here today, I guess in a role that would lead us down the path to planning our community. But it's a great community. I appreciate to be part of it. Thank you again. I look forward to working with Mr. Gibbons and the planning department, as well as the planning commission and the rest of the city leadership. So you guys are all great. I think we're on a great path with the wastewater agencies and everything else opening up south Sarpy County. There's some great opportunity ahead of us. I look forward to being part of that. So thank you.
And a little bit of philosophy too. There's some jurisdictions where the people on the planning commission, they want professionals. They want the engineers, the architects, the planners, the realtors, and that type of thing. I've always had the philosophy of the entire development process goes through the professionals. We need the people on the planning commission that have to live with the result. And so to have citizens be the citizens planners. And so again, appreciate your willingness to step up when you don't have the specific knowledge that the professionals do, but you get a lot of insight. So thank you very much.
Okay, thank you.
Do we have any other proponents or opponents? Any council discussion? Mr. Sunday.
Just a question. Who is stepping down?
Judy is.
Oh,
Yeah.
she's an at-large, right?
What's that? She's a regular member. Not the alternate.
Okay. No, I didn't mean that.
Oh.
She's outside city limits is what I was asking.
That might, because of a move, was inside because of a move, but we have the ETJ position filled, so this one will be inside city limits. Yeah. Yep. Thank you. Any other council discussion? Please vote.
7 yeas, 0 nays.
Thank you again. Motion approved. Item D1, Ordinance 1985, an ordinance to amend Chapter 127 of the Papillion Municipal Code. Is there a council member that will introduce? Introduced by Councilman Gaines. D2, Ordinance 1986, an ordinance to approve a change of zone from AG agricultural to R4 multifamily residential and R4 PUD2 multifamily residential with a specific planned unit overlay for the property legally described as part of the southwest quarter, Section 28, together with part of the north half of the Section 33, all in Township 14 North, Range 12 east of the 6 p.m., Sarpy County, Nebraska, generally located on the northwest and southwest corners of South 102nd Street and Highway 370. The applicant's BHI Properties, Granite Creek West. So council member that will introduce? Introduced by, I missed it, Mr. Fanslow. Thank you. E1, Ordinance 1984, an ordinance to approve amendments to the Papillion Basic Municipal Employees Plan and Trust Agreement for the City of Papillion Police Pension Plan and Trust. It's a public hearing. I'll open it. Do we have any proponents or opponents? Close the public hearing. F1, Ordinance 1983, an ordinance to approve a change of zone from MU Mixed Use to CC Community Commercial for the property legally described as Lot 5 Generations, generally located on the northwest corner, South 120th Street and Highway 370. The applicant's BHI Properties, Lot 5 Generations. Is there a motion to approve Ordinance 1983? Motion by Councilman Stubbe. Second by Councilman Ingberg. Any discussion?
I just have a question.
Yes, sir.
For Travis. Could you just educate the people here and the public watching at home the difference between community commercial and mixed use?
Good question. I'll try to be quick with my summary. So the mixed-use zoning was an overlay district that was done, and that requires a mixed-use development agreement moving forward from where on. That agreement was deferred when they actually did the subdivision agreement. As they've gone through the platting process, they've decided that this section on the east side of the lots, their Lot 5, would be beneficial to have CC zoning on it. The CC is a community commercial zoning, which it doesn't require the mixed-use development agreement to start development, but it is under the control of the Highway Overlay District regulations and also the urban design, which is our city, our commercial design guidelines as well. So this gives us the opportunity to develop the lot without doing a full mixed-use development agreement at this time.
That help? Yep. And Ms. Klug?
Yes, thank you. Just a comment, maybe question for Travis here, is that as I travel up and down 370 a lot, I'm starting to notice a lot of really big buildings with their backs to 370. And that was one thing that we were kind of concerned with a few years ago when we were putting together our comprehensive plan. You know, we don't want to see all the backs. We don't want to see the trash cans and that. And nothing wrong with this development. They're hitting there now. I'm not asking them for any changes, but it's just something that I think, can we relook at, revisit to figure out, to make sure that 370 doesn't just become a highway with a bunch of backs of buildings on it that serve as great big billboards for each building. Thank you. I appreciate if you'll just pay attention to that for us all. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Any other council discussion? Please vote.
Seven yeas, 0 nays.
Motion passes. F2, Ordinance 1981, an ordinance to approve a change of zone from AG agricultural to R4 multifamily residential for the property legally described as a tract of land located on all of Outlot D, 72 Place, together with part of the northeast quarter of the northwest quarter located in Section 1, Township 13 North, Range 12 East of the 6 p.m., Sarpy County, Nebraska, generally located southeast of 72nd Street and Shram Road. The applicant's Papillion Park LLC, 72 Place, Phase 2. Is there a motion to approve Ordinance 1981? Motion by Councilman Glover. Second by Councilman Gaines. Any discussion? Please vote.
Seven yeas, 0 nays.
Motion passes. F3, Resolution R230002, a resolution to approve a final plat for the property legally described as all of Outlot D, 72 Place, together with part of the northeast quarter of the northwest quarter, located in Section 1, Township 13 North, Range 12 East of the 6 p.m., Sarpy County, Nebraska, generally located southeast of 72nd Street and Shram Road. The applicant's Papillion Park LLC. Is there a motion to approve Resolution R230002? Motion by Councilman Stubbe, second by Mr. Fanslow. Any proponents or opponents? Council discussion? Please vote.
Seven yeas, 0 nays.
Motion passes. F4, Resolution R230003. It's also a related item. A resolution to approve the Second Amendment to the 72 Place subdivision agreement. Is a motion to approve Resolution R230003? Motion by Councilwoman Klug. Second by Councilman Ingberg. Any proponents or opponents? Council discussion. Please vote.
Seven yeas, 0 nays.
Motion passes. F5. F5. Resolution R230005, a resolution to approve an amendment to the master fee schedule pertaining to animal licensing fees. Is there a motion to approve Resolution R230005? Motion by Councilman Glover. Second by Councilman Klug. Any proponents or opponents? Council discussion? Please vote.
Again, could we just get some clarification for the public why we're doing this? Because I think there was a screw up somewhere along the line. Is that right? And we're just correcting what?
Ms. Powers?
Yep. So there was, I guess, yeah, I would say a screw up's a good way to word that. There was just a misunderstanding on what the Humane Society was charging and what a master fee schedule said they were to be charging. And it's the administrative fee, just where at what point it's supposed to be charged and who's charging it was just not clear. So we're clearing it up through this change.
There was a $1.25 charge that we thought was already
Correct. Correct.
Any other council discussion? Please vote.
7 yeas, 0 nays.
That's all the regular agenda items. We do have a closed session tonight, so we'll go ahead and do committee reports and comments. But I don't think any committees have met in the last 2 weeks. Any comments from the floor? Seeing none, comments from the council. Mr. Sunday?
No.
Oh, okay. Any other comments? Just a couple things. Really not much the last couple of weeks because of the holidays. League of Municipalities has met. I think I reminded folks I'm on the executive board there, so if there's anything at the state level with the cities and the league, let me know. But it's also a good reminder again on legislative issues. Legislature goes into session tomorrow. They've got the first 10 days to pass bills, so we're probably too late for any bill introduction if you have an idea. But this is the beginning of the 2-year biennium. So if there is an item you're interested in, it would be a good time to bring it up because at least we can start planting the seed in the session and then get them working on it over the summer. So if you've got items legislatively you're interested in, make sure we're aware of those. Other than that, we're going to monitor the legislature real close over the next 10 days, see what bills are introduced. And we'll do that through the league, we'll do that through the United Cities, and we'll do it individually. So if there's anything introduced or that you're hearing about being introduced that gives you any cause or concern, make sure you raise that to us because we may not be aware of it because there's going to be a lot of bills being introduced, I think. So stay tuned on the legislature. Probably become clearer in about mid-January once all the bills are introduced and we understand the committee assignments. Just a couple things for the next couple of weeks. January 6th, 3 p.m., wall-to-wall in Shadow Lake has their 1-year anniversary, so they're going to have an open house. And then on January 20th from 8 to 1 at the Landing, the rec department's going to have a wellness fair. So if you're interested in that, and then again, just a reminder of the tree recycling on the 16th. We do have a closed session tonight. Is there a motion to go into closed session to protect the public interest to discuss contract negotiations? Motion by Councilman Glover. Second by Councilman Gaines. Any proponents or opponents? Council discussion. Please vote.
7 yeas, 0 nays.
Motion passes, and I'll state for the record, the purpose of the closed session is only to discuss contract negotiations. Closed session will include the mayor, city council, city administrator, deputy city administrator, community development, the city clerk, assistant city attorney, and the human resources director. We'll go ahead and go into the side conference room. I'll restate the only topic discussed in closed session was contract negotiations. Is there a motion to come out of closed session? Motion by Councilman Klute. Second by Councilman Gaines. Please vote.
Seven yeas, 0 nays.
Do we have a motion to adjourn? Motion by Councilman Gaines. Second by Councilman Glover. Please vote.
7 yeas, 0 nays.
We are adjourned.